Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We are finally back home, ready to get some projects finished up after import face-off and blowing Bobby's STI. So the first thing we're doing is I'm finally getting the gray 10, the low mileage 10, all finished up. This is the very last data log that Chag needs, and I've been needing to do this for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this new map loaded on, go hit this data log, and then we can get the rest of the day started. This car's feeling good. It's making about, I would say 340, 350 wheel. I might go ahead and throw it on the dyno just to compare virtual numbers versus an actual dyno, just to see if there's any sort of significant difference. Kind of a weird start to the day, or to the video. I wasn't gonna even show any of this, but it's so mind-boggling that I have to share this with you guys. So I'm currently working on the gray Evo 10. This guy right here. As you can see, we have the trans out right now. Car's up in the air. So quick story, 2 days ago, we finished data logging and tuning this thing. It's all good to go. Car runs phenomenal. Was driving it around, enjoying the car before I get rid of it. And it started making some noise. It sounded like a fender liner was rubbing on the tire. So I brought the car to the shop, threw it up on the lift, was checking it out. It ended up being the tranny making a ton of noise. Pulled the tranny out of the car. I spent all day checking that out. It ended up being, I think you would call it the final drive gear. It's the gear that rides on the center diff. So it's not the center diff, but the gear on the shaft right next to the center diff, that was missing 2 teeth. And I'm not sure how that happened or when it happened. Could have happened before I got the car. Could have happened when I was driving. I don't really know. So anyways, pulled the tranny apart. Realized it's a completely built trans. All the gears are polished. Had upgraded everything inside the trans, which was pretty cool to see. We have a spare trans outside. So I went ahead and pulled the shaft, or the shafts and everything out of that trans. Brought it into a local shop and had them swap all the whole gear set off of one shaft, off of the bad shaft onto the new shaft. Put the tranny back in the car. Everything is good to go. Came here this morning because we had to let the case sealant dry overnight. Came here this morning, put the fluids in it. When I drove the car, everything was fine except it kept popping out of first gear. I tried everything. There's this little gate selector you can adjust. We tried that. You can't adjust the cables, so we couldn't try that, but we tried everything. And it came down to pulling the tranny back out of the car, pulling it apart. There's a slider on first gear, and that was upside down. I'm glad it wasn't my fault that messed something up, but still, it sucks that we had to pull the tranny, repair it, and now we're waiting on sealant to dry again, which takes a while, and then the trans is gonna go back in the car. So let's see here. This is the 4th time this transmission's been out of the car. First time we had the entire drivetrain out, we went through everything, put a new clutch in the car, and then clutch was really chattery. Realized the clutch pressure plate bolts were too long. They were not OEM, and I didn't realize that going back in. My fault there. Put the trans back in the car. Everything was good to go until somehow 2 teeth broke off. Pulled the trans, rebuilt it, put it back in the car, popped it out of first gear. Now we pulled it again. So we've had the trans out of the car 4 times, and 2 of the times have been within the last 24 hours, which is pretty wild. So hopefully that story interests you guys. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but I thought it was pretty wild. Damn Evos and their damn transmissions. We're not gonna get the car running tonight. I'll get it done tomorrow, first thing. But the sealant, you put it on the cases, and then you put the bolts hand tight. Now we're waiting, and then you let it dry for an hour, and then torque them down to the torque spec, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the trans in the car. So I guess enjoy this time lapse of me installing a transmission. Oh, check this out. I'm very, very, very pleased to announce I'm getting really good at pulling transes. It makes no sense. Transmissions out of Evo 10s. This thing took me, when I had to do it again today, for the last time hopefully, from a running driving Evo 10 on the lift already, of course, to the transition out and on the ground, 22 minutes. And you may think I'm full of shit because it sounds crazy. It's an Evo 10. They're kind of a pain in the dick to work on, but I was hauling ass and I was pissed off that we had to do it again. So I was very methodical and just quick with everything because I had just done it yesterday. 22 minutes from running to on the freaking ground. which is nuts. Car is all finished up, nice and easy. It's weird saying at Evo 10 trains is easy to do now, but the few simple things that I have changed over the years. Number one, make sure the subframe is lowered to make it a lot easier. Two, front motor mount or the pitch stop mount, pull that guy off the trans, gives you a lot more space. Then the top trans mount, so the driver's side top mount, pull that mount off and pull all 3 studs out of the trans as well, and gives you a ton of space. Tranny slips right out. Let's go on a drive and see if this thing is all fixed, which it should be. The car drove perfect. Trans feels amazing. Now, last thing that we need to do real quick on this car is fill up the AC. You guys may have also noticed we did get a working radio in this car. This is the iDoing head unit, and we've tested it out for a few days now. So CarLink 2.0, that is CarPlay. I do not have my phone in here, so I can't show you guys, but it works phenomenal. Once again, this is the same unit we have in the STI. So here's what we got. You hit CarLink 2.0, waiting for the device to connect. All right, it should be good. You guys see how fast that was to connect? The only thing I did notice that is a tiny bit laggy, which every aftermarket CarPlay system is. When you hit pause on here, it takes like maybe 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds to pause on there. And same thing when you hit play. Other than that, she's titties. That's that. I'll link it down below. All right, let's get this car completely dialed in as far as we can today. I gave her a bath, got her up in the lift, checked out the underside of the car, make sure everything was good to go. There's only like maybe 600 miles on this entire build. So kind of checked it over, made sure it's perfect. Now I want to get it back down on the ground, and I want to wrap the roof black. It's gonna look nice because the windows are nice and dark. It's got a carbon hood, carbon hatch, black roof. It's gonna flow really, really nice. I haven't decided if I'm gonna wrap this part of the wing or not, because of course the blade is black. Then we have some black right there with the hatch, and the roof is gonna be black. So that's the only white that's gonna be like in the center of the car. I guess let's go ahead and get the roof wrapped first, and then we can see how it looks. So if we need to wrap this, I'll probably just go try to do a straight line all the way back. Let's hit a quick clay bar on the roof, make sure it's perfectly clean, wipe with IPA, and then she's just gonna go gloss black with Avery vinyl. I was initially, and I have been looking for some sort of carbon fiber wrap that looks somewhat real to match the true carbon parts that we have on the car, but I couldn't really find anything, and I decided I just wanna get this damn thing done. By no means am I professional, but I'll explain and kind of show you guys what I do to get the best results for wrapping. So I have more than enough laid out on the roof right now. The roof is clay barred and wiped down with IPA. We set the wrap up on there. It still has the backing on it. I blew underneath the wrap just in case any sort of dirt was stuck to the backing paper. I'm gonna go ahead and get it adjusted, make sure we have evenness, even excess on all the edges so we can stretch the wrap on there. And then we're gonna go ahead and peel the backing off of the wrap. So let's get the backing off, and then I'll show you guys what I do. All right, so the backing's off the vinyl. You can see right now it looks like a big giant mess, which it is. It is a big mess. So we have a magnet laid down on that side. I'm gonna put one on each corner, and we're gonna go through and just start, it's called glassing out the wrap, and we're gonna get every single wrinkle out of this thing before we start squeegeeing it down. So it's gonna look like it's wrapped before we even lay a squeegee on it. Makes life so much easier. All right, you guys see that? We're only like 7 minutes in so far. It's fully glassed out, it looks absolutely beautiful. Now we can start with the squeegee. We're gonna create, let me just grab the squeegee and I'll show you guys. Make sure we got a good little felt on her. So I'm gonna start right in the middle of the roof, the very back edge, and just make a line right down the center of the roof. And then I'm gonna work from that line out on the passenger side, go to the driver's side, line out. This is a very, very flat roof. So squeegeeing this vinyl out is gonna take maybe another 5 minutes. Vinyl's all laid down. Now I have to go through and trim all the edges, cut right in between the roof and the pillar, dead center. This back, I'm gonna ride the blade on the hatch, and then the front is the only seal we have to deal with. So that's a little bit more tricky. When it comes to that, I'll run a nice little time lapse of how I tucked that and show you guys the end finished product. So every car is different when cutting on or cutting for seals. You always want to make sure you have enough just to tuck underneath the seal. So on this car, I cut on this edge right here, and that'll be plenty to lift the seal up and tuck it underneath. The worst thing in the world is getting done with the wrap, especially on a white car, and seeing white, like a white outline, because we didn't leave enough vinyl there. So that's gonna look beautiful. Let's go and get that tucked underneath using 2 squeegees, one to lift the seal, the other to tuck the vinyl under the seal. And then we need to do a little post heat action. And then we can finally, after probably a year of these things sitting around, get on our roof moldings. I didn't want to put those on until the roof was done because we'd have to take them right back off. There's nothing better than brand new moldings with brand new clips, with no missing clips. Oh man, that looks good. So here, let's go ahead and shut the hatch. Let's see how this thing looks with the black roof. I don't mind the white on the back. I think I'm gonna leave it. I think it looks really good. That is like a definite stormtrooper look we got going on here. Damn, that looks good. I'm so glad we did that. Sheesh. Instead of putting this back on and leaving it white or wrapping it black, I'm actually just gonna do a complete antenna or the shark fin delete. So I'll show you guys what I did on the FRS. Being that, of course, we never use the radio. I don't think anyone does anymore. Bought a little carbon fiber plate for this car. Sick. And this is how it looks. I think it's quite a bit cleaner than the shark fin. So I'm gonna buy that same thing for sus.
Ooh, that looks so good.
You look good.
You look good too.
I was gonna ceramic coat the roof, but I'm out of ceramic coat, so we can't ceramic coat it. So we can ceramic coat it when I get more ceramic coat in the mail. I have one more thing that I've been wanting to install on the car, and this is gonna be a little sus maybe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like them. These pieces are truly debatable. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to decide. So I'm only gonna run the passenger side for now. Here it is installed, right? It doesn't really, they're too long for starters. And then we kind of had to like bend it to go along with the wide body. You guys can see this fine. We gotta always trim it because it's hanging off the back side about 1 inch and the front side about 1/2 inch. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. It sucks because they were like 150 bucks and I don't want to just throw them away. But I also at the same time think they're a little bit tacky for the car. Here's the before, here she is after. I think something would look good. I just don't know if these are I don't know if this is it. All right, boys, I guess this is gonna be a wrap for today. Here, let me set the camera down real quick and explain why I haven't really been making videos. I haven't really been making videos because I've realized it's really hard to please everybody. So I'm taking the current approach of pleasing myself first. Sounds kind of weird, but like trying to make myself happy before trying to make everybody on YouTube happy, because there's a lot of people that want to see every little thing that I do to cars, which I think is really fun to film. But then at the same time, there's also the group of people that hate to see, for example, what we just did the last few days with pulling the Evo tranny multiple times. There have been a lot of people that would love to see that, but I know if I uploaded that kind of content, there'd be tons of comments. There always is about just repetitive content. So what I'm trying to do right now is just film the stuff that I want to film. I probably will eventually go back one day to filming every little thing I do to all these cars. But for now, I'm just gonna film whatever I want to film. That's why I'm not uploading every day. Uploading every day is very difficult. So if I can get like 3 to 4 videos up a week right now, it's pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you guys in the next video.